again. It's always my pleasure to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for viewing, subscribing, and even commenting. Good work. Thank you so much. Today our topic is the spirituality of divorce. The spirituality of divorce. When we talk about spirituality, we talk about like a recognition that there is something greater than ourselves. The recognition that there is something powerful beyond mundane, beyond the ordinary. Spirituality, is the connection we have with a greater power. Spirituality is about knowing there is power above power. There is authority above authority. Spirituality is connecting ourselves with the absolute authority. And that absolute authority is God. As Christians, we know God is bigger than all ourselves. He's the absolute power. He is the absolute, being. Nothing existed before him. In the beginning, God has always been there. And I want, if it's okay by you, and I am sure it's okay by you, I want to do two scriptures. One from Colossians chapter 1. Colossians chapter 1, verse 16. Colossians chapter 1, verse 16. It says, "For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, all principalities, all powers. All things were created by him and for him." All things were created by him and for him. I want us to have another look at one of scriptures, Acts chapter 17, verse 28. Acts chapter 17, verse 28. Let's have a closer look. 17, verse 28. It says, "For in him we live and move and have our being." For in him we live and move and have our being. As certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. For in him we live and move and have our being. What do the two scriptures tell us? That there is always someone behind what we see with our eyes, what we hear with our ears. There is someone behind everything. When we see our environment, there is someone behind that. He caused things to happen. He is a designer. He is designer. And that's why even in Romans we say, all things work for good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. All things work for good. So when we talk about spirituality, is whereby we are acknowledging the fact that whatever happens does not just happen. Nothing happens just for the sake of it. Something, or rather everything happens with a reason. We might not be knowing the reason behind it, but there is someone behind it. And for us Christians, we believe whatever happens, whether it's negative or positive, we always bounce back to God. We bounce back to God, whereby we ask ourselves, what is it there that God you want me to learn from this? Yes, it might be of our own making, but where do we bounce back? We bounce back to God. So when we talk about spirituality and divorce, this is where we are asking ourselves, after the loss, how do we define ourselves in connection with the greater power behind all that happened? How do we connect ourselves with the creator of everything? For in him we live and move and have our being. How do we connect with God? Yes, divorce is a loss. Marriage is a loss. So how do we connect with God when divorce happens? How can we connect? Two things. One, by asking ourselves, who are we? Who am I as a divorced person? Who am I? Two, what is my purpose? Who am I and what is my purpose? And these two questions can be addressed by going back to what we were, to who we are before marriage, during marriage, and after marriage. Who are you before marriage? Who are you during marriage? Who are you after marriage? The question, who are you? Sometimes it sounds very easy. Who are you? And many people mistake this question, who are you, with what you are. Because our society is not, let me say this with all humility, our society is not a people-oriented society. It is a thing-oriented society, whereby immediately you ask a person, who are you? The person tells you about the career. Yes, I'm a professor in a certain university. Yeah, I'm an accountant. Yeah, I am the member of parliament of this constituency or that constituency. Forgetting, when you ask who you are, it is not about what you are. This question can only be answered when you relate yourself with God. Who are you? Who are you before? What are you? Who am I? Catherine is a child of God. Period. I am a child of God. Who are you? You are a child of God. No debate about it. No discussion about it. I am a child of God. I know who I am. I know who I am. I'm a child of God. I am wonderfully and beautifully made. I am made in the image and likeness of God. I am variable. Yeah, I am variable. Yeah. You define yourself in relation to your maker, in relation to God. How does God see you? Because you came from God and you go back to God. Yeah. So who are you? You are a child of God. You are a child of the Most High God. Now, Jerry, who are you? Who are you before marriage, during marriage, and after the end of your marriage? Who does not change? Who does not change? Before marriage, you are a child of God. You were a child of God. During marriage, you were a child of God. After divorce, you are a child of God. And here, we have to separate completely what you are and who you are. Yeah. What were you in marriage? You are Mrs. Kamau, Mrs. Minor, Mrs. Karaoke, and so on and so forth. That is what you are. And what you are ends. What you are ends. But who you are, it never ends. Because what you are, it's about the career, it's about the marital status, yeah? It's about the profession, it's about the job you had. That is what you are. But who you are will never change until you go back to your maker and he tells you, welcome you, my good servant. Who will never change. Your marriage ended, but your definition of who you are does not end, my dear. You are still a child of God. And you have to bounce back to God if you have lost yourself in divorce. You have to go back to God if you have left him behind. Bounce back to God. And I think that is the best rebound relationship, in quotes, whereby you are bouncing back to God, whereby you are telling God, just as I am, my Father, here I come, just as I am. Yes, Father, you have said you hate divorce, but I have come because I know you separate between the sin and the sinner. I am a sinner. Forgive me. You heard divorce, and I did it. I have come, God. I have come for your forgiveness. And our God is merciful. He forgives us every single day. Remember, divorce is not the only sin. So all of us are immune to sin. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. We all fall short of the glory of God. We have fallen short of the glory of God. And we need to bounce back. So who are you, Jerry? Grace? Before marriage, during marriage, and after marriage. You are a child of God. You are a child of God. What is your purpose? That is the second question that we can address ourselves as far as spirituality and divorce is concerned, or rather spirituality in divorce is concerned. What is your purpose? If you know who you are, yes, then the one who makes you who you are yeah, has a purpose for your life. God has a purpose for your life. Your purpose is by God and for God. Your purpose is for God. He is your creator. You define yourself with him. Never let anybody define you. Define yourself in relation to your maker. What is your purpose? After defining yourself who you are, what is your purpose in life? What is your purpose in life? How do you separate yourself from the fact that you thought your purpose in marriage was ABCD? Now we still go back to before, during, and after. What is your purpose in life before marriage, during marriage, and after marriage? Was your purpose before marriage, during marriage, and after marriage, or after the end of the divorce, has it ended? Or have you lost the purpose of life after marriage? Yeah. Was your purpose only meant for marriage? Was your purpose only meant for giving birth or having children, for that matters? Was your purpose only to be a mother? Was your purpose only to be Mrs. So and so, because I'm addressing both gender? Yeah. What is your purpose in life? You go back to your maker. He defines you, then he knows your purpose. Because your purpose is not to be so and so's wife. Yeah. Your purpose is not to give or to give birth. What if you don't give birth? What if you are not Mrs. So and so? Does your purpose end there? Or what is your purpose? Yeah. Your purpose is greater than your career. Your purpose is greater than your dreams. Your purpose is greater than your marriage. Your purpose is greater than all those things that we define with our visible eyes. God has the purpose of your life in his hands. Whether you are divorced, whether you are in marriage, or whether you are single, you are not yet married, God has your purpose in his hands. You are born by his purpose and for his purpose. I read this book by Rick Warren, The Purpose-Driven Life, and he talks about this. Yeah. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? You were made by God and for God. You are made by God and for God. You were born by his purpose and for his purpose. I have said that. You were born by his purpose and for his purpose. The purpose of your life is far greater than your personal fulfillment. This is Rick Warren. Your purpose of your life is far greater than your personal fulfillment, your happiness, your career, etc., etc. You are greater, or rather your purpose is greater than what we see with our eyes. your purpose is greater than that marriage that you treasured, because I know you treasured your marriage. Me too. Ooh, I almost got mad. I almost got mad, wondering, what will you people say if I get out of this marriage? Because I had, I was holding tightly my marriage. I am defined by my marriage. My purpose is here in marriage. So you get depressed there. You contemplate suicide there in marriage because you are wondering how people will react. You are wondering what people will say. Yeah? Do you know that the only thing that people can do when you die is just, that beautiful coffee? And if you belong to a certain church, yeah, maybe they'll put on the uniforms and they'll come and say, you are a good person. You are a good person and you have died in a very abusive relationship. Because for you, definition of who you are comes through what you are, not who you are. Know who you are. When all other things are gone, know who you are. And Job learned the secret of knowing who he was. And somewhere Job said, even though you chastise me, God, I will still hold on unto you. Why? Because Job knew, this is Job the man of the Bible, Job knew his definition is not by the many servants he had. His definition was not by the beautiful and handsome children he had. The cows, he was not defined by things. He was defined by God. He had a relationship with God. And now the spirituality of divorce is whereby you have that relationship with God, whereby you say, now, ni mimi na Mungu wangu. It's me and my God. Or rather, it's my God and I. My Bible and I. My God and I. What a wonderful God. Yes. Know who you are in God. That when marriage is gone, you can still say, I know who I am. When that career you hold dearly goes, that job, you hold dearly goes, you can still stand and say, I know who I am. I know who I am. I don't define myself with things. I define myself in relationship with my God. How do you relate with your God? So, spirituality in divorce, connecting yourself with the greater power, with God, who knows the beginning to the end, or who knows the end from the beginning. He is the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. He knows everything. Who knows? Maybe he knew if you stayed in that marriage, you would have died there. I'm not saying that God is the one who caused your divorce. No, I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm saying this. Whether it's of your own making, because we go back to my last topic, it takes two to tango. There is always that moment, that room of bouncing back to God, telling God, here I am, here I am. So know yourself in God. No, the marriage ended, but your life has not ended. Your life continues. I keep on saying this. There is life after divorce. And that life, it can even be sweeter than the life you had in marriage. Yeah. Connect yourself with God. There is God who cares even after divorce. There is God who loves, and his love is ever unconditional. And give a worship statement. You remember the worship statement that Job gave to God? Yeah. Naked I came from my mother's womb. Naked will I depart. May his name be glorified. You can also give God a worship statement after divorce. Yeah. I knew you, God, before marriage. I knew you, God, during marriage. I now know you, God, even better after the loss of my marriage. Give God a worship statement. Yeah. You cheer up, you wake up, you dance, and you tell God, I know, God, that you are with me to the end, till the end of this time. Tell God to give you courage, yeah, and boldness to step out. Pray to God to give you courage, even to have self-positive talks. Self-positive talks whereby you encourage yourself in the Lord, like Samuel. Yeah. Is it Samuel or David? Like David. He encouraged himself in the Lord. Encourage yourself, my sister, in the Lord. Because nobody is there to encourage you. Because some people don't even know what they can tell you after the end of your marriage. Please, don't judge them. They don't know how to behave. They don't even know what to call you after divorce or after a marriage, for that matter. They don't know. Don't blame them. They don't know even how to address you. How to address you after divorce. Don't blame them. They don't know. They have never been there where you are. Yeah. And I normally say, it's only someone like me who can say like me, because I have gone through what I have gone through. Nobody else can say what I can say, because maybe the person has not gone through what I've gone through. And that's why I talk boldly out of experience. I thank God because I got born again before marriage. I was born again during marriage. And even after divorce, I still confess that our God is able. He's the Savior. He's the Savior. Please, don't engage yourself into something that you have never thought about. If you are not taking alcohol before divorce, please don't take it. Alcohol is a depressant. You are just digging your own grave. Don't engage yourself in some funny activities as an excuse I've been divorced. Do you know what? After I was divorced, I was asking God so many questions. I don't shy of saying this. I got married to my first love. So I didn't know anything outside what I learned with him about sex. So after marriage, maybe I could have thought, why don't I try something else? Okay, what am I trying to say? It's not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, there's nothing to regret. If you had a relationship with God before marriage, keep the relationship with God even after divorce. If there is any other time that you need God as a divorced person, it's now. It's now. And I really encourage you once again, I'm not repeating myself, but I'm emphasizing this. Get to know God more and more. More and more that you are now divorced. Have a closer walk with God, even now that you are divorced. Let nothing define you, but let God define you. Know who you are, know the purpose, and the purpose, I have said, the manual is with God. What is your purpose? Go back to God. Go back to God. He knows your purpose in life. He knows it. He knows it. He'll walk with you. He'll give you courage. Yeah. Yeah. What he began, he'll bring it to a conclusion because he's a faithful God. Yeah. He'll bring it to a conclusion. To a completion, because he's God. Spirituality and divorce. It is there. It's about bouncing back to God. It's about knowing that behind everything that happens, there is God, and he cares for us all. Thank you, and God bless.